Well, I just want to say hi to all of you out there on the YouTube community. I know I promised that the next time I was going to appear on a video that I was going to be cheerful and I was going to be in a good mood, which is, usually how people perceive me, you know, cheerful and in a good mood. But the truth is, I just realized I acted like an idiot last night. I have a problem, and it's a pretty big problem. I started dating this guy like 2.5 months ago, nearly 3 months ago, and we got attached pretty soon. And I was being so honest with him about everything because I thought he was being honest back. And we got really attached. And when I noticed it, we were together nearly 24/7, because as I told you, I'm a clinical psychologist, but I've been working mainly as a tarot card reader, and I've been doing that for almost 20 years. And it's what I do as a current job. I left psychology for good in November last year. I was actually a clinical psychologist in the police department, and I was doing therapy for police officers and their families. But I have to be honest, I really love being a tarot card reader, and all of a sudden I found out that I could actually do that and make really good money and still help people almost the same way as I did as a psychologist, because people value my opinions. And I think it's very embarrassing for a clinical psychologist to admit what I'm going to admit to you right now. The guy that I got myself involved with, is a drug addict and some heavy drugs. He uses cocaine. It's not all he uses, but he's a cocaine addict. And I should have known better. I should have known better. I should have never believed him. Not for a minute. Because if there's one thing I got from all of this is they lie. Drug addicts lie. When we first started dating, the story he gave me was that he was in this program and he was doing the detox. He wasn't using cocaine anymore. He was taking these pills, and he was being counseled by a psychiatrist and a psychologist. And so as a trained professional myself, I thought, yeah, he's getting the help he needs. He's only human. People can make their mistakes. They're allowed to make their mistakes. And so I decided to support him and move along with the relationship. Our relationship started, and the next day that we started the relationship, I didn't see him because he had some work to do, and I was really busy with my work as well, so we didn't see each other. And the next day in the morning, he came over to my house. He stayed with me up until the time I went to the gym, pretty much at lunchtime. And then at 6 o'clock, he wanted to come back because he said, "You really missed me." And I said, "Fine, So he came here at 6 o'clock, still dressed from work. And I thought, okay, he's going to be here until like dinner time and then he's going to leave. And he never did. He ended up staying for dinner, and then he slept here. And then the next day he was here pretty much the entire day. And he would leave sometimes, but he would leave like when I had to go to the gym or when I had to go and do something. And I didn't want to leave him alone in my house, because I hardly knew the guy. And after what he told me about the drugs, and even if the drugs weren't the issue, I didn't know the guy, so I wasn't going to leave some guy that I don't know alone in my house. The thing is, after about a couple of weeks, he told me that he was still using cocaine, just not all the time. He needed it like maybe twice a month. And the next thing I knew, he was using cocaine at least every week. He did it in front of me, counting with what happened last night, 5 times. And it's not just the cocaine. It goes on for hours, in which there's cocaine, there's alcohol, there's pot. There's a lot of things weird that go on. And I actually thought that I could help, but things just got escalating to a point in which he started asking for money. And the first time I helped out because he needed gas money. Then he quit his job for some weird reason, which meant he had nowhere to go during the day because he wasn't working. And because I work at home, pretty much he would spend the night here and then he would just stay here the whole day, unless I asked him to leave or I went out myself. Well, to cut a very sad story short, and trust me, one day I am going to talk about this in more detail, because I think everyone who is out there and everyone who is thinking on having a relationship with a drug addict should know what can happen. You really should know, because this is very dangerous and it can destroy your entire life. It really can. I started making less work, less money. We weren't happy anymore. We kept fighting because either he was angry because he needed the drugs and he didn't have the drugs, or he was frustrated because he didn't have a job, or he was using cocaine. That was the good part, because at least when he used cocaine, he would be fine for a couple of days and we could actually have some happy moments. But when he wasn't using it, it was hell on earth. And I used to wonder, like, how do intelligent women fall for these guys? And clinical psychologist, tarot card reader, I have a master's on legal medicine and forensics. Trust me, I have this really good academic background and also professional background. And I got caught up in this web of lies. And the reason I'm crying right now is that I just realized I'm an idiot, because we broke up 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and he treated me like crap. He kept texting me all the time, saying things like, forget about me, I never really liked you like me more than I like you, forget I ever existed in your life. He was actually being mean and cruel and awful to the only person that actually knows the truth about him and was supportive. And now I'm crying like an idiot because I realized what I did last night. Last night he changed his speech and he started saying how much he cared about me, how much he missed me. That he was only saying those things because he needed the cocaine and he couldn't have it, but that he had found some money, he got it from his mother or his aunt or whoever, and he had used it again and he was fine and he wanted to talk to me. And I really didn't want to talk to him at the moment, obviously, but he went on and on and on, and to cut a long story short, he ended up saying he needed a little favor. He wanted to call a drug dealer and he needed to use my phone because he didn't have enough money on his phone to call a drug dealer. And I said no. And I said no for like nearly an hour, until I ended up saying yes. I met him up. I gave him my phone. He called the drug dealer in front of me using my phone number. Really smart move. And remember what I told you. I used to work for the police. I mean, this is ridiculous, at least, and pathetic, at least. And then I drove him to the place where they were going to make the trade. He made the trade. He got back in the car. And then he said, I really love you. I really want to go back. But I really have one small favor to ask you. And I was like, I can't believe this is happening, that I'm being such an idiot. And I asked him, what the hell do you want now? And he said, well, I want you to borrow your car. And I was like, what? And he said, yeah, I can drive you home, and then I can take your car because I need to go to a different drug dealer, this time to get cocaine, which was not the drug he was getting from that person. And then I can come home to you and we can be together. And I held my ground and I said no. And I ended up driving him to his place and he left. So then I came home feeling miserable, and I did what I do. I did my psychic readings to a lot of clients. And then at about 3 o'clock in the morning, I usually work really late, trust me, I went out to walk my dog, and he was standing right there. Apparently, he had been there for 3 hours, and he had no way of telling me because he didn't have any money on his phone. He didn't want to ring the bell because, he didn't want my dog to start barking. And I asked him, what do you want from me? You're not getting my car. You're not getting my money. So what the hell are you doing here? And he said he just wanted to be with me, how much he missed me. And to cut a very, very long story short, he ended up convincing me that he's going into a real detox center. He says he's going to be there for at least 6 months, that he has this appointment with a doctor this month, August, on the 21st. Then he's going to go away for a detox center for like 6 months. And he wanted us to have a firm relationship before he left, because he couldn't stand the idea of being locked up for 6 months and me being out there being able to, date other people. And he wanted to make sure that I would wait for him. But there was a catch, because my family clearly hates him. So do my friends, because he's a drug addict. In his family, his mother, for some reason, doesn't approve of me, even though she has never seen me. But she knows I'm a psychic tarot card reader, so she thinks I'm some sort of a witch or whatever. According to him, we're going to have huge problems with our family accepting this, so we should keep it a secret. And what did I do? I actually said yes, and we ended up having sex, and he stayed over the night. And today he was super sweet with all of his messages. He was a real darling. But the truth is, I opened my eyes, and I really hope I opened them for good this time. And I realized he probably lied the whole time. And you know why? Because he's a drug addict, and drug addicts lie. You can't trust them. They lie, they cheat, they manipulate until they get what they want, which is usually the drugs, your help in getting the drugs, your money to get the drugs. That's what they want. That's it. Like today he didn't make an effort to see me. Not an effort at all. And you know why? Because he bought his drugs last night. He didn't need me tonight. Of course not. He's going to probably try and show up in like maybe 2, 3, 4 days when he needs drugs again. And he needs a car. And he needs someone to contact the dealers for him. And I was crying here all by myself, and my dog was comforting me. And I was like, I have to get this message out there. Please beware. These people are dangerous. And I'm going to put out different vlogs so that people know what I'm talking about. People have to know the truth. They have to know what's going on. And what's going on is very, very serious. And I'm going to explain my relationship with him. And I'm going to explain what I found out about the wonderful world of drugs. And everything that I think right now about drug dealers, drug addicts, and people like me that are stupid and dumb enough to believe their word when they're saying, oh, I'm going through detox. Yeah, I'm not using it. Oh, I really love you. You don't have enough money for me? Well, sorry, babe. I don't really love you tonight. Maybe tomorrow. One day I'm going to actually put out a vlog in which I'm going to talk about something nice. But I know you guys are probably going to think I'm an idiot and that I was had, or that I should have known better and this was all my fault and my mess. But please, if you have any comments to make about this, if you have any opinions about what happened to me, please share them on the comments below. Because I don't know what I'm doing anymore. And you know what I think? I think he's wasting his life. And if I don't break this off for good, there's a good chance I'm going to waste my life as well. So I just really needed to get this off my chest. And I'm sorry that my vlogs are vlogs in which I'm pretty much unhappy all the time. Maybe it will change. Now there's these books. Yeah, and no one actually told me to talk about the books. I'm just talking about them because they're really cool. These are for adults, and you can just color the books. It's actually very soothing. And I just remembered to try to end this really tragic story on a happy note. So to all you guys out there, hugs and kisses from me. And please, if anyone sees this video, I could really use some advice right now. And if you have any questions to ask me about what it's like to live 24/7 with a drug addict, even though it only happened for 2 months, trust me, I have a lot to tell you. Bye everyone. Have a safe night.